Let's import our config to 1.21.10 using MojMap. Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. At the end of the previous episode, I said that I will try to import the reference and logger and config in front of the camera. However, the logger had no issues whatsoever. The reference had few hiccups. We will talk about that. But the main thing is our config system. Now we go into source, main, Java, dev, the mentor, API, config, lots of folder structures, just so that we get a proper package name and proper projects. And we move here. Let's go back here and hope for the best. Now let's talk about this gereference. Part of gereference is all about the string and adding mod ID to the string and returning. So that has no problem whatsoever. The part that was related to the identifier, one of the things that I really did want to rename long time ago was the identifier method. I used the identifier to stay in tuned to fabric naming. However, I personally preferred the shorter name ID here. Now we got a chance to rename it. Basically, we get a path. We just assign our mod ID and path and return a resource location. That's a simple renaming. The thing is that when we want to get vanilla, we are using resource location dot with default namespace. Now here's the thing, ID of a string. We have something in Fabric that when we translate it to MojMap, it says use parse. However, I'm not sure if that's the one because we have more than few things here and it says by separator that. So by separator is actually doing a substring and then create untrusted with default namespace. If we can't, then with default namespace or whatever. The thing is that we have this try parse, okay, and this is said try by separator, and I think the one that I want to go with is try parse, and this guy is saying that replace with requires non-null, like so. This means that if the parse fails, we will get an exception. That's exactly what I want. Then translate. Now, here's funny thing. We had this mutable text. In Yarn, that's one of the places that I really liked the naming because in MojMap we have component as the text. Think about it. We want to translate something and print it or put it somewhere as a text. It's called component. As you see, component.translatable and mutable component. Anyway, that's one of the namings that I don't like. Thankfully, I can keep my own API name, so I will keep my sanity as translate there. Create block tags. Now remember, we had the registry keys. In MojMap, they are called registries. In Yarn, they are registry keys. In MojMap, they are registries. So this is one of the hiccups that will make people confused when they come to registries because Yarn has something called registries. Now in MojMap that is called built something registry, and in Yarn we have registry keys. Now that in MojMap is registries. Anyway, you need to wrap your head around these namings now. But other than that, the only thing that we had here was of, and it would try to create an identifier using C as the namespace. That is try build. We had another method that says parse, I think, again, but I think the correct one here is try build. So keep that in mind. As I said, this class has few hiccups related to different namings being here, and they're copied between MojMap and Yarn. So let's try and see if our config has any problems. By definition, any enum should be okay. Our interfaces normally should be okay. Then let's start with the base config. It's okay. Then our config provider should be okay. Yes. And config request should be okay. Cool. And finally, gconfig, the main class, is completely clean. So as you see, there are times that you write your own API and things, so you're not calling anything from Minecraft. Be a happy developer there. Now that we have time, I want to attack the registering of items and blocks and think about it as a tutorial for those who are trying to start things with MojMap as their first modding experience. Let me resync the Gradle. We will come back when it's finished. The registry library is all about registering different components inside Minecraft, like items, like blocks, anything else. And each class is responsible of doing one thing. So let's start with the simplest ones, like the item. The very first thing that most of the time solves the problems is to remove all the imports, let them find as many things as they can, and you would see that from this list, some of them will be solved. You may not see the difference, however, lots of things here are cleaned. Now, let's take a look. This one is calling my method, okay? This one is calling my method, this one is calling my method, and the problem here is that we don't have this iTool factory. So let's just, and I placed it inside the wrong folder. Okay, move it there. Get the interface into the factory. It should be okay because my interfaces inside this library system most of the time are just functions and things like that. Okay, tool material is not correct, maybe because the naming. Let's remove that one. Yes, that was the only thing. And here, what is the problem now? Let's see. Okay, these are the helpers. Let's start from the meat, the heart of everything. That would be a single register call. There we go. That registers everything into Minecraft. So remember, registry key became resource key. Okay, so we say resource key, and for an item key from base helper that we developed in between the episodes, we get the key for the resource key dot item. Okay, however, registry keys, now this is, as I said, registries are really confusing. This became registries. Okay, that item. Then we have this resource key here again, but lowercase. Okay, settings that registry key. This one is a little bit harder to find. Actually, it became set ID. That's something that really you shouldn't find. And no, it was abstract block. Okay, item settings that registry key became item dot properties dot set ID. So here, item dot settings became item dot properties, and now I need to refactor this guy to properties. Yes, refactor everywhere in the class, and then now it's set ID. Max count, stacks 2. Okay, now finally we're saying registry.register. It looks like it's okay. However, this registries may be a wrong thing because, as I said, it became built-in registries and then it works. So remember, here we want properties, and if we are making item settings, I should make item properties. So actually, you know what? It would be easier if I search for item.settings and I convert it to item dot properties, replace all 17, and that may help a lot. As you see, it cleared a bunch of errors here. So let's start from top now, because again, this is, as you know, just naming change. Now these days, I think from version 21.7, I think, I'm not sure, we started using the resource key instead of IDs here, and the way we registered items were different now. And as you see, this is an example of it. So basically, other than the namings, you just get the resource key and you create an item based off the factory and then register that item with the key. Now, this factory is something like item : new. It's not surprising. And I have few overloads for that. This one became register keys, became registries, and properties dot, set ID. This became built-in registries. So as you see, as you learn, you move forward faster. Resource key, registries, set ID, and then finally, okay, that should be changed. I will do the max count soon. Built-in registries, and this was set stack 2 or stack 2, sorry. So the rest are repetitive stuff. And I will pause the video and fix the item class, and then I will come back. The block is almost the same and identical. The block item is identical. We will take a look at them in a few minutes. So after a few minutes, we had covered every item here. As the armor, pay attention that Here we had armor and now it's humanoid armor. And for the food, we have food properties. Nothing crazy there. So the next interface that I want to add is related to block item. However, I will just fix this one and I will not start block item yet because first I want to do the block. So let's see. Let's go with block registry. Now, as you know, my library most of the time uses factories for registering different things because let's face it, sending a block like this is really neat and clean. And this is actually a sample of the code that you can use, and instead of block you use your block class. Now if you want to, you need to find the heart of everything. So for example, you should know which one of the methods this one is calling. It's calling this one. And the problem is here because we have the abstract block name changed and it became block behavior. Seriously, that's okay. I'm not happy about this one because behavior is something really different. But I will replace all of that. It means that I will replace them inside the Java docs at the same time. So why can't you find it? Let's import it. And again, I have a hunch that this became properties. Yes, so properties and rename every setting. F2, actually, you know what? Yeah, F2, rename this one to properties. And it's asking if I want to do it on multiple instances. Yes. Then here we have this registry key. It became resource key. This one is registries. And finally, registry.register. This became built-in registries. Now this guy is calling this guy, and this is properties now. Then we have the resource key here. And actually, you know what? Now that you have a working one, you can make your way faster by copy pasting everything that needs to be copy pasted in place that needs to be copy pasted, because each one of them are actually doing almost the same thing. Basically, we are registering a block, but sometimes we are giving a helper block to copy the properties from. Sometimes we are saying that, hey, we have a special block. For example, here we have a stairs block or slab block or I don't know, button block. But the thing is that we are doing the same type of registry. So handling it once means that in other places we should be able to handle it. Thankfully, this one is called factory. And now we will come back to this guy soon, but let's fix that one. The reason I'm really happy is that factory doesn't need name changing. I really like it when an API becomes stable and consistent. So let's just copy paste these properties and get rid of the settings errors like so. Then we start from top. Here, this is the built-in registries. So let's fix that one. And the place you should look for it is registry.register because we have registries on top. You shouldn't mix them. That is correct. Okay, I forgot this one. Resource key. Actually, I forgot a bunch of them. Let me see. That's okay. So copy, paste, 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 paste. Now trapdoor block. I think it should become trapdoor. I'm not sure. Actually, it's the same thing. So why are you not finding it? Yeah, it's the same thing. There we go. Okay, just the copy on properties. Now, instead of searching LinkedIn, by experience, I know that I can find it easier like this. So it became of. Each time I'm copying the properties of a block. Oh, wait, that wasn't the case. Of full copy. Sorry. Wait, that needs a block behavior. Let me see. Yeah, that will work. Okay. And then this registry key became resource key, I think. But first, let's fix these guys. These are copying the settings, or in this case, properties from one block to another block. So now this guy, instead of create, this one is of. Honestly, create is a better name compared to of, but I understand that empty lists are created by using of, so I can understand if Mojang prefers to use that name. By the way, normally 80% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. This is a good time to hit that subscribe button. Stairs block. Now, what had happened to this guy? Funny enough, they dropped the S. Stair block. That makes sense actually. So get default state. I remember that it came rename default block state. Yes, registry key dot key. That became set ID. So as I said, when you work with MojMap for maybe a day or two, it starts to sit back in your memory. Actually, the same process was there for Fabric, isn't it? I mean, none of us remembered everything from Fabric from the first day. We always had this side note on how to have some method or helper method being written, and the more we used it, the better we remembered everything. So I should go for, I would say, block item. Let's paste it and let's remove the imports and let's let it fix as many problems as we can have. Then the block is, now pay attention on the block. Minecraft has this clip context and it has a block class. So it says block in clip context. However, you don't want that. You want this one. Block directly in net Minecraft word level block. Okay, that's something that I may have forgotten to tell you. So this is the resource key, registries, and now this came properties. Okay, use block prefix translation key. Please give me a better name. Nope. Use block description prefix, set ID, and what? Okay, built-in registries here. Now let's start copying things. First, I will go with the registry. That's the easier one. Then I will rename this guy to registries. If you get confused, this is a better approach for you. So that's that. Then we have this guy being used here, and this is set ID. And finally, this is properties. Now I wonder, what is the new settings? I really wonder about that one. Okay, finally, I prefer to change this one to properties. Now, the way we register a block item is not really different compared to blocks or items. The only difference is that on the properties, we should always call this guy. Use block description prefix. Means that get your description, get your naming stuff from the corresponding block. You are not a standalone item. Okay, cool. Now, which one should we continue with? Let's go with the entity register. Now, this class is responsible of registering either mobs or your block entities. And honestly, I hope that we don't have a big, huge cup here, other than the renamings, of course. Okay, now entity import class. The reason is that we have three. We want the net Minecraft one. Spawn group is called mob category. Makes sense, actually. Now, in my opinion, sometimes we are really just doing a little bit of a battle of wheels, I should say. I mean, Mojang likes a name, and people on Yarn say that, hey, we want another name. Maybe because of licensing, I'm not sure. But for example, mob category was a good name by itself, and Mojang suggested a really good name there. So why should we change that? I don't know. Maybe it was related to licensing. Anyways, so this is the resource location. Now this one, honestly, identifier is a better name for this. This and this. No, sorry. Registry keys became registries and resource location of this. Now we are sending in a resource key and an identifier. Let's see. Is that? Oh, not resource location. God, see, pay attention. This is resource key and this is registries. Now instead of we want a resource key and a resource location. That's the create. Okay, and finally this guy needs to be built in registry, just like that. Now let me break this one to second line. Cool. And entity type builder dot create. We want a factory and a mob group. Let's see, create nothing. No, that's not of. And this is one of the things I don't like about MojMap. We are not consistent. I mean, sometimes we are using create, sometimes we are using of. If it was up to me, in every one of these instances, I would use create. That's my personal preference, no? At least I would be consistent. Okay, so this is our library. Now, of course, if you are new to Fabric, right now I'm not holding your hand and teaching you anything. But the thing is that other video tutorials out there are doing nothing. They are just copy pasting their code or retyping the code. So you can watch my video tutorials from the beginning. Just keep in mind that they are yarn mappings. And then if you want the MojMap mapping, be my guest, look at the GitHub. Also, keep in mind, when this library is finished, you can really easily register your items, blocks, block entities, screen handlers, anything else, just by calling a register method on my class. And that's it. So you don't have to write multiple repetitive helper methods in many mods. Anyway, after this one, we have something that is a little bit more interesting, and that is a recipe registration. Let's get rid of imports. Please fix as much as you can. Okay, resource key, and this one is built-in registries. This is a resource key, and this one is built-in registries. And just like that, we are registering our recipes. Now, this guy returns a recipe serializer. This guy is returning a recipe type. These two are the bulk of your task when you want a custom recipe. You will have a serializer, you will have a type, and we are registering both of them here. Okay, let's go with this easier one again, status effect. Provided, I'm not sure if we have a status effects in MojMap or not. Let's see. Apparently not. So I may need to rename the class itself. Became mob effect. Okay, so I will change my name to gmob effect registry. Now registry entry became holder, so every time you see the name holder, it's the old registry entry. And then status effect category became mob effect category. In other words, when the status effect became mob effect, category is just the suffix there. Status effect is there. This one will be changed anyway. Resource key, mob effect, registry dot register reference. Okay, let's fix this guy first. Registry keys dot status effect. I have a hunch that both sections has changed. Yes, it became registries mob effect. So this is built in registries mob effect. Now this guy became registry register for holder. There we go. So again, this is how you register an EU status effect. And the status effect is called mob effect Mojang. Players are not mobs, you know. Here is a big one, the wood set. Now, this guy is taken from 3040. However, hopefully we will actually have lots of problems. Okay, so abstract block.settings became block behavior.property. So I will hit Control R and here Control V and replace all of them because you see I have 83 instances of this thing. So replace all and just import the namespace there. Oh, come on. Okay, go back. The reason is that these properties need capital P. Replace all. Re-import the namespace. Boom. Okay, sapling generator. Ouch! Tree grower! Grower! Really? Grower! Okay, boat entity. Okay, it became boat, and I have a hunch that this one will be chess boat. Yes. So pillar block, grower. To stick in my brain. Okay, rotated pillar block. That actually makes a little bit of a sense. So 27 of them, replace all of them. We established the fact that stairs block became stair block without the S. Again, 5 of them. Now trapdoor block. I remember you were there. Yes. Hanging sign block. Ceiling hanging sign block. Well, that makes sense because then we have wall hanging sign block. Okay. Replace all 14 of them. And then, wall ceiling hang block became, because what? Okay. This is wall hanging sign blocks. And remove that. So this is boat. This is chest boat, a tree grower. Really. Let's go with the crazy name of tree grower. Okay. And why are you not happy now? So ceiling hanging block. Okay, that's 2Ks there. Moving down, as you see, now I'm calling my own register method. So I have a lot of easier time. Oh, it's capital D. Oh, okay. A little bit of difference in the typing. Now sign block block. I think we don't have wood type. Actually, let me see. Any errors on top? No. So why are you not accepting a sign block? Sign block is abstract. Okay, let's see. I think the name is now sign. Standing sign block. Ooh, really? Okay, that's that. This is tax 2, 16. Okay, this became boat, boat, just boat, just boat. You may notice that right now I'm trying to fix the ones that I really know what is there to be changed. For example, these, and this will become mob category. So that's that. Tax 2. Then I will move through the rest of the classes until I get everything done. Now, boat dispenser behavior, boat dispense item behavior. I would call it dispense both item behavior. That's me. So sapling the trigger. Okay, set blocks on the accessor. Ouch. This is a mixin. Okay, let's see. Let's fix the rest. Trigger trapdoor has capital D, and here I had a typo with 2K. So again, boat, just boat. Now, if you are wondering, this guy is killing me. Trigger. So if you are wondering what this class is doing, we are trying to send in a single block type of a wood and then generate the whole family of things for that. For example, the wood, the planks, the stripped woods, logs and the stripped logs, then trapdoor, door, I don't know, boat, anything related in vanilla to a wood type. That is what Turti was trying to do here, and he did succeed. Well, the only hiccup that we will really have is the mixin. Now, what are you yelling at me? Cannot resolve group in builder. Okay, what do we want here? Builder. Okay, this should be a name change. Let's take a look. Should be inside block family. Yes, group prefix. Actually, recipe group prefix. Unlock criterion name. I think it became trigger something. No, recipe unlocked by. That was something else. And finally, build? Really? Okay, you know what? This one, it's easier to be found like this. So builder, what the hell? Get family. There we go. It's returning the family. Okay. So that one is that. Now let's move forward. What are you yelling at me here? Set block. Yeah, that's the mixin. So get default state for any block. Default block state makes sense actually. Although I prefer the name get there. So sign item. Actually, this should be hanging sign. So what is wrong here? It says that provided function of settings. There we go. But we want function of properties because the hell. Oh yeah, it's on top. Okay, it's on top somewhere here. Let's see. Item.settings. There we go. I found it. So we need to change these guys to item.properties both here and yes, you see the problem here inside builder because now we need to readjust them here. Okay, then what's wrong here is that we are getting this dot sign item here, 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 and here. All of them should be items dot properties. Okay, cool. Going back up, we have this create. How about of? Yeah, because when Mojang is flip-flopping between create and ob, we can figure that if one of them is not working, the other one will work. Now drops nothing, no loot table. Okay, dimensions, bounds maybe? No. Okay, let's see. Here we are asking for two floats. By the way, this is a nice way of identifying what you are looking for. I'm looking at the number of parameters they are asking. For example, this is asking for integer, 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 non, then float and float. Okay, entity type, that's what I want, size. So you see, it's much faster to find things like that at times. Max tracking range became client tracking range. Okay, let's go with of. Now we have an easier time. That's no loot, that is sized, and this is client tracking range. And just like that, we are now having fun with the mixin problem. The reason is that we don't have the mixin. Let's see. I want to fix everything that I have right now, and then I will come back to this single error in another video, maybe, because right now this video is taking long. However, Actually, you know what? Let's just copy the classes and just paste them and see if we have anything that we didn't see so far. For example, let's drop these and take a look. Okay, we know that registry entries is something else. We already know these. Okay, equipment asset keys, equipment assets, and that's the wrong thing. Okay, so this is why normally I get them like this. The property, and as you see, not only it became equipment assets, but the name was changed. So equipment type became armor type. And let's see, yes, these are okay. Okay, then resource key, registry key of, this is folder, come on, folder. And we have direct. So instead of, this is direct now. What now? That's not what we want. Let's see, registry key dot of became resource key dot create. Sorry, my bad. Resource key dot create, registry entry. This one is folder, yes, and that fixed that. So this class for getting armor material was just name changes. Now, component type registry, I'm fairly sure this is just some name changes here and there. We will take a look if something happened later. Screen registry. Again, this should be name changes. And finally, this guy. Okay, registrable and place features. You know what? Let's stop the video and we will continue in the next video.
If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun everyone. Bye.